Hello, you guys. Hello. Welcome back into the community garden. Look at me streaming 2 days in a row. This may happen more frequently now, so keep an eye out for that. But hi, how you guys doing? How's everyone? Today's plans are just going to be like relaxing a bit and just playing a dating sim because I said in my stream from yesterday that I've started to feel myself getting burnout. Um, so to combat that and to make sure I don't get burnout, I am going to try to not play Pokemon for a bit, because if I continue playing, I will get burned out. So, yeah. Also, I do want to say that if you'd like, you should follow me on my social medias, especially Twitter. I'm going to be posting a lot more on Twitter, and I've already started posting sort of some sneak peeks of my new model, just like for the fact that I am super excited and I'm impatient and I want you guys to see. But it's turning out really good, actually. Progress wise, if I know I said last stream that like 50% would 50% of it is the drawing, and then 50%, the other half is like the actual like rigging part of the model. So just for the first half, which is just like the illustration, I want to say I think I said yesterday I'm at 30%. I'm probably at like 35 now, maybe 40%. It's it looks so good, actually. I'm super excited for this new model because it's going to like actually like fit in better, I feel like, with everything. And it's a lot more detailed, and it's gonna have a lot more let's say emotions, and I'm hoping more movement, I guess. But that's all I'm gonna say. Just you know keep an eye out for that. I'm not sure if I want to showcase, like, not really showcase, but I don't know if I want to show the model and then like do an actual showcase when the rigging's done, or if I just want to wait for it all. But I'm really impatient, so I really just want to show it. And I was very much contemplating on whether or not I should like, I don't know if I should like just stream me drawing it. But honestly, when I draw, I take a lot of breaks. And not only that, like like for what I did, I really only did like the top half portion. And so it's just like that alone, like the hair, my ears, my face, took, I want to say like like 5-ish hours, but that's like including breaks. So it's definitely been a lot. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if I should like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should like stream it just cuz it's like so much. Ah, I don't know. I don't know, honestly, I don't know. But yeah, I'm posting some like snippets here and there because I am impatient and I want you guys to see what I'm working on. And that I am working on stuff behind the scenes even if I don't stream and stuff like that. So, Twitter, that's where I'm posting most of my stuff. I hardly use Instagram. I do a little bit, but Twitter is where I'm mostly at. Same with like TikTok is probably also a place. Let's see. I think that's it for announcements. Yeah. I think so. I'll say this again at the end of the stream, but I think my next stream, I'm trying to figure this out. I believe my next stream will be Thursday. I'm gonna take tomorrow as a break day. And I might pull a poll on what you guys think I should do. Not really sure yet. I probably will end up depending how long this takes, this dating sim will take, I will probably play it again. But I don't know. We will see. I'm not really sure. Hello there. Hello. Welcome in. Hi. We have just begun. I have just been chatting a bit. Hi. Welcome into the community garden. How are you doing? I do have to make sure I set up and that this game is all updated. I'm really excited to play this game. I've actually heard quite a bit about it. So, I am not really sure if it's going to be good or not. I mean, I heard good stuff about it, but you know, you never know. Let's see. Okay. That should be good. Okay, let's just move on to the game. Actually, hold on. I have to make sure that it shows up correctly. Let's see. Okay. I think I want to do no overlay. I feel like that would be probably the best thing to do. It was like I was saying, like I heard a bunch about this game like on TikTok and stuff. I did hear that it was pretty good, and I heard that it was very cute. I'm still not sure, you know. But we will see if it turns out to be good or not. Let's see. I guess I should have seen how this would work. Okay. Alright. This is, for some reason, not working. I'm trying to make sure I set this up correctly for you guys to see. If not, I'll probably just have to end up showing like my screen, which is fine. It just makes it a bit harder for me to actually see you guys, but it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. It's fine, you know. Things like this happen. yeah, for some reason, it's like not showing up as a game. It's actually kind of weird. Usually it would show up. This is really weird. So I'm just gonna show my screen. Hopefully that'll be better. You know, if you end up seeing my setup, I don't care. Sometimes that just happens. There's nothing you can do. Okay, I will put it right there. And then let's see. That should be fine. Oh god. Okay. There you go. Okay, so this is the game that we're gonna be playing. I believe it's called what is it called? It's called Our Life Beginning. Let me see. Our Life. It just says Our Life, but I know it's like Our Life Beginning something. So yes. And I'm really excited. I actually just realized I don't think I have the audio on, so I'm gonna do that as well. And you guys just let me know if the audio is if the audio is not loud enough, because I can like pull up the I can increase the sound and the voices too, you know, because I can't hear from your guys' side or your guys' point of view. Okay, and without further ado, we will get started. So far, I'm kind of liking the vibe of this. The music's nice. The character looks nice, and I just don't know, his eyebrows are really wiggly. It's an interesting character design, actually. So we'll just get started. Welcome. See, it's called Our Life Beginnings and Always. Oh, it's a tutorial. Okay. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu to learn about everything in detail. To start off, the game is divided into 4 time periods, steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, young adult. And step 4, adult. Our life is further divided into sets of I don't know that word. I can't read. That take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting that summer is ending. What? Steps 1 to 3 include 5 moments each, and even more can be unlocked by purchasing DLC. Some are out there now, and other DLCs will be released later on. Step 4 is an epilogue and doesn't include moments. A lot happens over the years that go by, especially in regards to the characters you play as. You determine nearly everything about the main character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interests, skills, their relationships with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, and eye color can't be altered once set. Much of the MC's basic traits are determined on character's creation screen. As the MC grows up, more options become available on the screen. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type in any name you'd like, or you can pick a present name. Present options are called voice names because the names will be voiced aloud by the romantic lead. You get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Okay, that's pretty cool. Only the default name, Jamie, is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free voice name expansion DLC. The full collection of names is separated out as a DLC because of how large it is. If you're not interested in that feature, you don't get it. You don't need to get it. 100 dates in in 1 minute. I don't even. This is a lot. Okay, each name. Oh. Wait, yeah. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was selected by someone who supported this project. On the character creation screen, there's a cute doll you decorate to get an idea of what your MC looks like with the different I love customizing. I'm sure it's not so expansive, but I'm excited. Not all the things you decide about the MC appear on the doll. The script referencing what you've decided for the MC is the main way those decisions influence the game. Our life is a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to other characters' sprites. You only see the MC as the decorative doll and the special cut-in CG images. The cut-in CG only appear if certain choices are made. It's possible not to see any during the playthrough. Okay. There's also a second type of special MC-based screen, the interest comfort screen. Unless you get DLCs, the game has one love interest, Coven Holden. Cove. Why did I say Coven? Cove Holden. He grows up with the MC, and the interest comfort screen is crucial for determining how that plays out. Interest level sees how much you like him. There are 4 levels: disinterest, fond, crush, and love. Love is only available starting in step 3 if you were at fond or crush in step 2. Okay. I had to slowly read it to make sure I comprehended that. Alright, comfort determines on how you generally think when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. I'm gonna be nervous. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest comfort near the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level can only stay at the same or increase. Your current level of interest will become the new lowest option on the screen in the future. This is a lot for the tutorial time. For example, if you decide to be fond in step 1, disinterest will not be available in the screen in steps 2 and 3, which would make fond the bottom level option for your relationship. Interest level has an impact when it comes to physically interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and have a close relationship, you can choose to touch him. And Cove will occasionally interact with the MC in lighthearted or comforting ways. But starting in step 3, touching can become more romantic or suggestive if you're at crush or love. To make sure things go nicely with that, there will be an extra choice to determine initiative level and a bonus mini tutorial that goes along with the choice to explain the feature in more detail. Basically, if you decide you like Cove, the game won't force you to act. If you decide you like Cove, the game will force you to act on those feelings. You can always choose not to get together with him, choose not to accept or give romantic gestures, etc. If you do decide to date Cove, though, you can't break up with him later. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Interest comfort gets the basics down, but it's the choices that appear throughout the normal game events that decide what actually happens between the MC and Cove. And it isn't only the MC who is impacted by decisions. Cove grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences help shape who he becomes. I kind of like that. That's cool. Usually they're pretty straightforward, but I like that it kind of changes a bit. I really like games that do that are like choice-based games. I think those are so interesting to me because it really makes you feel more like immersed and like your decisions actually matter. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. In steps 2 and 3, Co's personality, appearance, and entrance will vary based on what happens in the previous step. It's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions will end up changing him. You can try to guess as you go along. Or if you prefer, you can also just design your own ideal cove directly using the Cove Creator option that pops up at the beginning of steps 2 and 3. What? Wait, what does that mean? Creator option that pops up at the beginning of steps 2 and 3. Making the choices you want is always more important than making a choice because you feel like you have to in order to get a certain result. When a choice does appear, usually you'll see that hovering the cursor over an option shows a certain color, yellow, blue, or green. These colors aren't related to specific points or effects, they're only there to give a bit of an insight on the tone, emotion of the choice, since text alone can potentially be read in more than one way. I like that. Blue tends to be casually straightforward, yellow more emotive and reactive, and green less certain, uncommitted. Okay, we gotta remember that because actually those colors were not what I was thinking they was meant. Though there are hundreds of options in our life and not every choice menu feels in line with that pattern, picking just one color every time doesn't give a gameplay benefit. Only stick to a certain type if that's what you happen to like. Otherwise, switch between them freely. Always pick yellow. Never pick yellow. Pursue romance right from the start. Never romance the love interest. Be disagreeable or amiable. None of them will lead to a bad ending. Oh, so there's not really like a bad ending. Sometimes there's like really bad endings in dating games, and that's sometimes they're like too much. Like when they become like stalkers or they're like super obsessed with you. It's like, sir, I'm gonna need you to back up, please. This is too much right now. If you're welcome to enjoy the events, shape the story without reservations, and then if you'd like, you can play again or try something new. There's only ever more good content to discover. We hope you have a nice time with our life. Thank you for playing. Oh my god, how fun! Nah. Oh. Okay, so if we look, I would say like this, but I kind of like the round. I think the round is really cute. And then my skin tone. Oh, this is like perfect. Eye shape. Oh, this one for sure. Okay. Now to pick a color, I think I'm gonna go with like my yellow eye, just cause that usually makes. We'll do this one actually. So it's like a mixture between my both eye colors. So my front here. Oh no. Okay, there's a lot actually. Which is pretty good. Oh, yeah, for sure. Here, back. Oh my god, this is so cute. Let's see if they have my hair. Probably not. We'll do that one. This is red, and this is orange, but the orange is too orange. Okay, yeah, we'll go to the orange. We'll go to this one. I think this one's more like it. And then same with this. We won't have like a blonde part, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot. Oh, slay. Okay. Oh, I could only...
Jamie.
No. None. Is that how he sounds? Or maybe that's how he sounds as a kid. Okay, so I think I do remember them saying. Okay. We'll just do bun, just because Tangy would sound a little bit weird altogether, and I can't change this one. I hope it doesn't call me Jamie. I really don't want to be called Jamie. Maybe they'll just be like by my last name? Oh god. I don't know. Like, I don't want any. Can I not get any?
Jamie.
No. I don't want any. Okay. We should go to the next page. What? Oh, it says change page. Wait, what? What? Okay. Birthmarks? Oh, cute. Okay, this one. I don't have a scar. How cute. Wait a minute! I was gonna say it changed all my stuff. Okay. Speed round. Speed round. Oh god. Okay. It was this one. And then this one. Okay. Right. And then this said bun. Whoops. All right there. Cute. Cute. No, I do not have freckles. Hand size? I'm gonna say medium. And I don't have glasses. I just want to see the options. Those are cute. Okay. Next page. Birthmarks on my hand? That's so in depth. You think? Oh, do you think they're gonna like mention it? I do have one on my chest. Don't have any on there. Don't have any scars or freckles. I am wearing a skirt now, but I do prefer pants and shirts, which you might see in my new model, just saying. Anyways, necklaces for sure, and we'll do bracelets. You can't really see them in my model, but that's okay. I think that's it. Yes. Okay. That's fine. All right. Done. All right. Let's save. Just for now. I have a lot of saves. Okay, that's good. Okay. Cute. All right. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of the year. Your usual sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bring 3 whole months of school less vacation with. During the summer, your moms? My moms? I have moms? Slay. I love that. Your moms didn't like you to wander off too far off your neighborhood. You knew your area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went with Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses that got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved in passing their stories. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. I should have written this down. Whoopsies, I forgot what each one meant. You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them when you ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back. Most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew they all knew you very well. They all knew you well enough to expect that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. We'll just do with the first one. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from and hoped to visit those places one day. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognize really, really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time, but you think people would be okay then. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you feel a bit scared knowing that he was blocking your way to your front door. But you were pretty interested and you wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. No. But you were pretty interested. You wanted to know. I'll be honest, if a random guy showed up at my house and I'm like 5, I'd be a little bit worried. As a kid, I was never really outgoing. Or I wouldn't really I don't know, this situation would make me definitely anxious. It would make me anxious now, but for sure back then, I wasn't like those kids that would walk up to anyone and be like, hey, hi, my name is... I was really shy, so I think this would be probably it. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met and you took in a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but still you didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gatepost and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Not wanting to seem approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure about him, willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Yeah, I would still smile, I feel like. The man gives you a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? Oh, God. You look at the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed experience. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. I live right there. My name's Jamie. You continue to say, yeah, I live here. That's great. He looked happy to hear, giving you a broad smile. He reached in his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him.
Well,
could you do me a favor? Nothing bad, sorry, I should have, let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it made him look creepier. I have a son, his name is Cove, who's about your age. Okay. Cove, that seems like a strange name for an actual living person to you. No. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought it was pretty cool. I probably wouldn't have thought about it. I probably would have thought it was cool if I was younger. You never met anyone with that name. Cove's dad. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Jamie Bunn, right? I met your moms earlier and they told me... Okay, I'm just gonna say Bunn. Obviously, because my name's not Jamie. But yeah. I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8, just like him. So, I'm 8. The choices I picked were pretty accurate. He took the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, and hopefully a smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him.
do you mind?
But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man. You kind of felt sorry for Cove. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for their friendship? Yeah, I mean... I'll do that. Had your moms done that for you and Lizzie, the thought made you frown. What'd you say? I want to make a deal? You took the bill. You don't want the money. You didn't want the money. No, thank you. Sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely. Are you sure? It won't be so bad. Even if it's just for the summer, that'd be enough. That only made the sound more strange to you. Why does the lasting for summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into a back pocket and changed the request. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming over for a normal visit? No money involved? Yeah, I want to meet him. Okay, you can do that, I guess. You have to ask my moms. You didn't answer the man. Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I want him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but, well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed, and he said that with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Sure thing. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back, and that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Step 1, first sight. Eek! Save. We will save. Right here. Yes. Okay. So this is the first step. Hopefully it's fine. Yikes. Okay. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you quite familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see an ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves at the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You've always loved the ocean. It's so much fun. You loved to hear the stories about the sea, about the merfolk and serpents you imagined. You didn't enjoy the beach that much, especially the sand where it got absolutely everywhere. I'll do the ocean. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Ah! There was a boy sitting at the top of the hill, almost completely hidden, within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have green hair, wavy eye, sad frowns, pink ass, green hair. I mean, I have red hair, so I can't really say anything. Huge glasses. I'll do wavy eyebrows, but this new boy did. You weren't sure what else in the world had eyebrows like that, if there was anything. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected in the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand and acknowledging him, and showed you weren't scary. Hey, Space Cadet. Hi! With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling his fists to his sides. He's crying! No! He didn't say anything, he just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying, there was traces of tears on his cheeks, and his knees soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seems to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier said stuck to you. Cove? Ah. Eyes widened, he studied you. How do you know that? I met your dad. I'm all-knowing. Lucky guess. He said keep it between him, but I'll just say I met your dad. I met your dad.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep, you can't own a hill. You shook your head. While doing so, you picked at a strand of lint in your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat at the patch of the grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it trailed over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why'd your family move? Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started flowing again with a vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. Oh no! Oh God. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave and he took me with him. And now we have a house here and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heavy with exhaustion. He snipped and removed his glasses, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. Oh no! I want my mom. I'm sorry. Your dad seems kind of nice. You'll like it here. Just have to get used to it. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wounded himself again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you hear your parents. Jamie!
Cove?
Where'd you go? Cove looked at you, tears still coming down the cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. It will be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out yourself. You waited silently. You tried to convince him. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cole's dad even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Dang! Alright, this is weird, alright? Because they're my moms, I assume. But my mom is really pretty. Oh, she has a piercing, right? I assume. I think. I have good moms. I wonder where I got my genes from. They slay, honestly. Both of your moms were at your side in the split second, faces filled with worry. Jamie, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove, but then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. No, we were just sitting in the grass. We're okay, don't worry. Thank God you're both fine. Were you both having fun out here? You look over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna... Bro, that is way too forward. Yeah, he's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. No, whoa, chill out. We don't gotta go that far. Yes, I like him. You nodded, smiling lightly. He's still pissed. Finally, you go off his squirmy, growling son. Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Jamie knows the whole area so well. Absolutely, we should get going home now. But it's been a long day for all of us. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked out into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast till it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff? It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. Sure, can I show him my stuff? Oh my gosh, Mommy. I will never call my dad or mom, mommy or daddy, nor have I ever called them that. It just never felt right to me. And I actually always felt comfortable. Even when I was young, I never called them that. I called them mom and dad or their names. Hardly their names, but yeah. Then okay. Both of your moms laughed that sounded overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mom put her arms around your shoulder, and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after a long, exciting day, you followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel towards Cove for the first step. It can change in later steps. Direct, relaxed. Fond. We'll do fond. I'm pretty fond of him. I can't say crush because I don't know. But I'm fond. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna save right here. Okay. Let's go. Yes. Woo! Achievement. Alright, at the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out early to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Jamie? Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
Lord, help me. How sweet. I'm so happy he moved in. With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah, I don't know, am I? Your bowl is entirely empty, so you nodded. Yeah. With that expression an 8-year-old can muster, you looked at your empty cereal bowl, then at Mom.
Okay.
Okay, attitude kid, we see. Yeah, probably is how it was. Good job, he should be here soon. Clean up again, and then on cue there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Jamie, could you get it? Wiggling out of your chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey, Bun family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your room and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him and mom and mother behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. You twisted the threaded bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the crystal bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the flowered bead bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the shell bracelet on your wrist. Okay, if I was a kid, I would for sure have a flowered bracelet. But right now, I would have a crystal. But I would just say flower because this is like, I'm 8. I'm 8 years old. So I'm gonna do this. Let's go play in my room. Okay.
Take care.
Stop. Let us know if you need anything. Like she's hot and she sounds hot. Please get out of my head. Oh my god. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that dad to leave though. You led into your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window, and a window to look out at. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings that was on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the wall. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. You had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you've collected tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging a box into the middle of the room, you and Cole flopped down next to it. I think so, yeah. See? You gestured to a piece at the bottom still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Silo. He actually meant it. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Silo's gonna be here today. Silo? Lizzie's friend, or like her #1 fan, I guess? Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, Lizzie's friend's not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my shell some more. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and you pulled out seashells after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink and purple and orange. Most of them you washed up in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for them. Your voice flattered a bit, but you kept going as best as you could. Faltered. No. Apparently fascinated. I'm sorry, I have to see. Okay, we're good. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened to what looked like a full force on his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience to be the center of such delicate focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy. But Mom wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guess it was because he thinks you found each other by accident. Not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. But then he would have been like, how do you know my name? Like, I feel like that's weirder. Like how would you come up with someone and be like, hi, your name? I'd be like, who are you? I literally have never met you before in my life. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Silo's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor in your home in the entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, be careful. Great. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Silo. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh! Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, and his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That was my favorite too. I like the different ones best. I like a different one best. You can take it. Should I ask him to take it? You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted. No, it's okay. For you. Ah, you look so cute! You pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at the sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cove was your neighbor now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings, and then the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the present had a knock, you figured it was probably Silo. You knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but it didn't seem like Cove felt better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell that he was thinking what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. He'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Silo is the least scary person alive. Cheer up, Silo's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. I'll come with you. Hurry, they'll see we're going. He glanced back at you, then nodded. The two of you made your way to the window together. It wasn't much of a distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed gently on the bushes, you looked up to see that Cove was already taking off away from the house. He was fast, but you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He was not that fast, you could outrun if you wanted to. He was not that fast, but neither were you. At that speed, you weren't sure if you could go fast to reach him. No, I can reach him. Cove, you ran as fast as your legs could take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you do so. Cautiously, Cove slowed down to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know. Somewhere else. I just don't want to see... Jamie! You looked back and saw Silo huffing down the hill after you. The backpack he clutched bouncing all around along the way. What are you doing? Can I come? He must have seen you leaving the window and followed behind.
Hi!
Oh, heck no! Boom! Get out the way! Oh, hi! Are you Cove?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Silo. Okay. Yep. Are we going back or are we gonna play outside? Silo's eyes moved between you and Cove. The smile remained strong in his face. It got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running away. Inside, we left the box at the door. Right, my shells and stuff. We have to make sure they're okay. With Silo trailing behind, you and Cove head back toward the house. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach scenes more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check this out. Check the scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glaring pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Cove, why are you so awkward? Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue? It might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
I'm not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. I like those colors too. Both of them smiled. Ah. Like usual, it didn't take long for Silo to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Silo didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach probably. Is she playing at her park? At her park, yes. Okay. Cove's eyes lit up in the mention of the park. He looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Silo jumped beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Jamie? The park's fun. The park is great. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do and lots of sand. And it has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. So are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just wanted to check out the park. I dripped without any direction. Silo finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go, so it was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short that she'd always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Jamie, or hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Jamie, Silo, hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Silo had abandoned you two and scrambled over to the sand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was there. You wondered if he would leave too. Oh my god, slay! Okay, us both having orange hair, slay. Who's that? It's Cove, he's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured wildly to her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie's the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Jamie's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. Oh, you're 10? What about the other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Sal's just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really brings their kids here. This is the land of the ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He hadn't seemed to care that she was there. He went in his own head. Silo was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Jamie in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Silo looked to the dirt. He hadn't had much luck striking up conversation with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. Silo's discomfort at how weird he thought Cove was, as something else entirely he didn't really know. But she laughed, face scrunched up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put your feet up, and get used to it. Ugh. You offered him a small smile at that, and at least looked to reassure him. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Silo. And on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life. The way sun and lunch the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was fun. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. And then summer ended. Oh man. Grown up, shopping, long day, sandcastle, fireflies. Do I have to pick one? Oh. Let's save. Okay. I don't think a long day or grown up. Shopping, maybe? I like fireflies, though. Alright, tonight we're gonna catch fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over the summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy, and you knew there was bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, you are you? What? Oh. Yeah, you started eating faster. You looked at your mom. You put your food around your plate. Yeah. You rocked lightly from side to side as you see, already excited for your after-dinner activity. Catching fireflies was a great way to spend summer evening, and you could already envision the little lightning bugs drifting through the darkened sky. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. Bunn? Silo chopped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Silo to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late and you didn't hear why. Probably more work things. You thought maybe to hang out with Silo for a little longer, but what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside? Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree. Well, it's already so dark out here. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for there to be a response.
There.
Let him go. Nights like these don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually signed and nodded. Yes. Along with Lizzie's tears, you grew...
You drew your arms in triumph, just waited until you finished chewing to say anything because you knew it was rude. You knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full.
Fine.
Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind your house with all the poppies, okay? Duh, Mom. That's where most of them are. The idea had only been planned in your head. But already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table. That's right, if someone died, we'd have to cancel the firefly trip after all. I've said it like a joke. Oh my gosh, I keep yawning for some reason. But you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. Silo did immediately when you glanced at Lizzie. You saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth?
Jeez.
No one's going to die. Sheesh. She's so sassy. I'd knock out the door and interrupt her mom before she could scold your sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran to the door, pulling it up without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? You shifted your seat to try to get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mom had already walked through the door by the time you managed to see past Silo's flappy hat. Oh, Cove, hi, you're here. Cove smiled at your enthusiastic greeting, and you hoped Mom would ask him to stay. It didn't matter if he was there, and meant he could join you in all the catching fireflies. Then for a second, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looking up at your mom with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver out from his hand side pockets. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back when we moved. Great, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and Mom stood in front of the table too. I'll give your dad a call and let him know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mom closed the door behind him.
Hi.
Hi, Cove. Silo gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by and holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You can come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure what to say now. You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the exertion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. You hoped Cove would say yes, that way you wouldn't be the odd one out with Lizzie and Silo anymore.
Yeah.
I could do that. I never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before. The fireflies weren't out. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and he must not have been anywhere he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and looked at her seat. And took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Cove was very true. You decided to finish up your own step as well. Cove stepped and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What'd you have? Eggs? The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Silo from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of his food on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room. Cove, your dad said you can stay for a while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This would be so nice. As you polished off the meal you hoped it would be, the three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. Oh, hello! Hi, welcome in. Hi. Oh, I'm blocking the way. I'm blocking the way of the chat. But hi. Hi. Hello. playing a dating sham. It's called Our Life. And hold on. I have moms. I have 2 moms. These are my moms. They look nice, let me tell you. Yeah, this is my favorite. I think this one is mom, and this one we call her mommy, but I don't want to call her mommy. I'm calling her mother instead. Yeah, bro, look at him. Oh my gosh. Also, my sister's kind of an ass. She's kind of really mean. It's fine, Mom. Silo trained so closely after Lizzie, and he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the floor. Ming. After a moment, he did. Bye, children. This one is mommy. Oh my gosh! Don't look at me like that. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Silo. By the time you walked outside, you pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get further and further away.
Hurry up!
Shut up, Lizzie. Lizzie is my sister, and you couldn't really change the first name, but you could have a last name. So our name is Jamie. But yeah. This is the love interest. For now. This is like when we first met, and I guess the story is gonna go on when he's older too, I think. I'm not really sure. I just read like the tutorial, and he was like, oh yeah, there's like 4 steps. So there's like when you're a kid, when you get older, when you're a young adult, and then adult. So the last name I put ended up being just Bun. I just put Bun. Tangy would have been weird, so I just put Bun. And this is Cove. That's again the love interest. Yeah, Jamie Bun. So like a quick recap. Cove's parents are divorced, I guess. And so his dad took him to where we live, like our neighborhood. And, you know, Cove is like trying to process that, so he's like a little bit sad, and he's still like unsure about people. And I have a sister whose name is Lily. She's 2 years older. We're 8 right now. Me and Cove are the same age. Lizzie is 10 because she's double digits. And she's really like sassy. She's sassy and dramatic. And then there's Silo, who is obsessed with Lizzie, our sister. Yeah. He probably has a crush on her. I don't really know. Kind of seems like it though. But he's like on her butt, like never leaves her side. So, you know. And that's basically it. Not too much going on. Oh, and you can pick how you feel about the love interest, and you can tell, like, you can ask whether you're like, how do I say, like, whether you're interested in him and how you feel around him. And there is like not like those dramatic endings where they're like become like stalker or obsessed with you or anything like that. It's like a normal ending if you decide not to pursue him in like a romantic way, which is pretty cool, I think. Obsessed, yeah. Silo's obsessed with my sister, but you know, whatever, I guess. And us 4 are kind of the only kids, I guess. It's kind of complicated. I think we go to a school farther away, because they did mention there was like no kids around. So I assumed that they said there was no kids around, and they also said that school there'll be a lot more kids. So again, I'm just assuming that we probably live farther away from a school, but where we are right now, there's only like 3 kids now. Me, my sister, and then now Cove. And Silo isn't really from here. He just visits, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. So, no like bad endings. Yeah, no like bad ending. It's just like endings, normal endings that you would probably have. Which is good. I like that it's not like a dramatic ending. Like, it doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be, but like it doesn't need to. It's not really necessary. Anyways, I'm gonna continue. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, and paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. I also forgot, right now we are outside trying to catch fireflies. So that's pretty cool. Are you gonna come? You tugged him along. You walked with him. You waved to him to hurry. You ran off. I'll walk with him. You fell behind, sliding up next to him and matching his stride. He noticed right away.
It's okay.
You can go ahead if you want. You smile and shake your head. I don't. After a short while, the two of you reached the hill behind the house. The fireflies were out in full force, floating on the breeze, their gentle glow winking in and out and creating the most magical effect. Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Silo was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle. Wow. Aw. Silo took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. That's Silo. I like that. There's an impact choices, but not any bad ones. That's cool. Yeah, I definitely agree that there's no really like a bad choice. It's just there's better options probably, and depending how you want to go through things. There's also like, so when it gives you like options, there's like yellow, blue, and green. Each of them are supposed to mean like a different thing, but I kind of forgot, not going to lie, so I just pick whatever I feel is good, not really based off of the colors. Hi guys, it's really gray out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green hair. Silo couldn't help but giggle. You and Silo could... Hold on. What went... On whose hair? Oh, on Cove's hair. You quietly looked on. You shooed the bug away. Silo couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on. I'm just gonna quietly look on. You took a couple of steps back, slowly trying not to spook the little bug as you admired how it glowed so brightly against Cove's hair. Cove raised an eyebrow, giving you a confused look, and Silo giggled. You gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed after the glow.
Oh,
look! Lizzie has one. That's amazing. Silo ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had a bandage on your thumb and you tried to be cautious of that. You had a bandage on your palm and you tried to be cautious. You had 2 bandages on your hand and you tried to be cautious. You were good at not getting cuts or scratches, so you weren't too worried about that. No. On my I'm gonna say on my palm. I'm gonna have something on my palm. Why not? I was always very clumsy, so I still am very clumsy actually. Sometimes I would wake up with just like 10 bruises on me, so I'm definitely gonna pick that. Spotting one close by, you approached it with an assassin-like strength, crouching down to make yourself seem less of a threat. Slowly dragging out one foot in front of the other, you crept towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. His tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled with the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when you tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, floating his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Cove watched it vanish into the air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had. You made a joke about what happened. You did your own things. You encouraged him to try again. You get the next one. Did you catch one? You nodded and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your hand. You held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Whoa, you get a little too close. You get a little close there. Ultimately, he settled his fingers slightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. You stayed very still. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Why is his hand huge? What? Ugh, why is it so big? The firefly, noticing the new condition, crawled up into Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. Oh my gosh, my flower bracelet! I forgot I had said I had a flower bracelet on. Slay. Okay, cute. It worked! Yeah, you got one. Cove's lips turned into a slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Jamie. With a laugh, he gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low five. Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. The firefly was gone.
Sorry.
Oof, sorry. You scolded him. You forgave him. You teared up. You forgave him. That's okay. I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right, bugs have to stay outside. Let's go get another. You decided to collect more. You decided to sit in the grass and watch. Decided to collect more. We could work together. His face broke into a wide grin. We'll catch a bunch. Aw. With renewed vigor, you ran into the hill. You're not sure how much time has passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the ground. Jamie, this way! You followed the sound of Cove's voice into the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers, only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying it for himself. There was a few times where you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Likely, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with the both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually, the fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun. A lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Jamie, Cove. Get up here, we're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard and it had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Silo. You glanced over to see them both standing on the top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with a quick hand gesture. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi.
Cove.
There you go. Finally, I can show you my sister. This is my sister. This is Lizzie. Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was kind of a race. Oh, it was that kind of a race. He frowned down at his cast. There was the second time he got in the way tonight. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important, got it? I guess. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for some reason to make someone else be referee, but it was already decided. You go to the position for the race. I'll stay with Cove. I'm gonna go do something else. I'll stay with Cove.
Really?
Really? Why? You don't have to. It's okay. I'll watch. You move beside him at the top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. Why y'all looking at? Why you looking at me like that? Okay? Let me do what I want. Okay? You guys are rude, Lizzie. Yeah, you, Lizzie. Why are you so rude for? Why you gotta say it like that? That's not how races work. We only need one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refuse to budge, and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Fine. I'll be the winner, whether you join or not. Like, Lizzie gotta chill out. Lizzie's too much. Lizzie is too much, actually. Lizzie is rude. She's so rude. She's so rude. Fine, bitch. I didn't want to race with you anyways. And it's not... Lizzie moved to lay down, and Silo did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Count down. Cove stood up a little straighter and seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duty seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Silo took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck until the halfway down the hill. Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Silo a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and as soon as Silo reached the bottom of the hill, she jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back into the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stumped out of the bush she had ended up in, spluttering angrily and brushing his leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad, you got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Sore loser. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been part of this mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw he was doing the same. It had gotten late and it was beginning to feel like a little bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each other, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't really matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Butthurt. Literally so butthurt. Okay. Alright. That was the fireflies. These are moments in step 1, I guess. I could either continue to go through all of them, or I can just move on to the next step, which would be, I think, like teenage. I think it was. I could be wrong. But yeah, it could be like teenage. I'm not really sure what I'd want to do. There's sandcastle. I don't know what grown up means. There's shopping, long day. I for sure don't want to do long day. I don't know what that means. Sandcastle maybe. We'll do sandcastle. Yeah, we'll do sandcastle. Cove wasn't able to do many things that summer. When you and him and Silo sat at the shoreline one bright morning, you could tell he wanted to be in the water. But there was no way he'd be swimming anytime soon. Not with this cast. The waves washed a single shell to shore, glittering and blue, another reminder of the places he couldn't go. From what you heard about Cove's old life so far, in tiny pieces and fragments, you could tell he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. Like make a pact with a witch or something just to get it off his arms. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mom and dad. But now he was here with you and Silo and Lizzie and everyone else He couldn't even go into the sea. This town wasn't bad. It had all of our favorite things in it, but sitting here on the same beach, you'd grow up and you could understand that not everybody else felt the same way about Sunset Bird as you did. You watched him from the corner of your eye quietly, and he finally said aloud what you had been pondering. I wish I could go in. The water? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna be able to do it soon. Cove only sighed in response. Apparently soon wasn't soon enough. It's so pretty, the ocean. And huge. There could be anything out there, like mermaids. Yeah. I wish you didn't have a cast. I don't really care. Duh! I don't really care. Swimming might be fun if we could. I'm fine here online. Mermaids aren't real. Okay. This is a good one. I don't want to say I wish you didn't have a cast, because that'll just like perpetuate him. And it'd be like, it'd really like hone in on the issue. I think the only thing would be I'm fine here on land. Not really sure though. Definitely not that one, nor this. Not that I don't really care. I'm gonna do I'm fine here on land. I like the ocean, but I don't know. I'm fine here on land. Alright. Obviously not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation. Cove turned back to the water. That. Oh no. No, please. Please, please. Can I go back? But as he looked away, something about Silo's slow, careful movements caught his eye. Hey, are you building a sandcastle? Sort of. I was only playing around while you were talking. I'm listening. Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before. It's really nothing special. I'm sure you'll be good at it right away. Well, how do you do it then? Silo's cheeks lit up. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's expectant stare on him. I'll play too. I love making sand stuff. I never really made one before. There's nothing else to do. I love making sand stuff. Okay. He put his hands back to his seashells and sand and nodded. I don't do it a lot. Here's how I'd like to get a house started. Silo focused more intently than you've ever seen him. Guided Cove through his process. You happily used your own method. It didn't take long for the three of you to each have humble stretches prepared. Humble what? I'm sorry. Structures prepared. That's all kind of. You can do anything now. Like make it bigger and add some seashells, carve a path pattern. I bet you'd have great ideas.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it bigger. Mine is gonna be a real castle. Cool. This is gonna be a house. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to make I guess a castle. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to build a fancy castle. The better part of the next hour was spent focusing on your own work. The boys weren't the same. Even Silo didn't sneak as many peeks as everyone else usually did. You finished shaping before either of them did, glancing for what you built. It seems you've done so fast because they've already searched. You know, I didn't pick the mansion because I thought that that would be like showing off, and I don't really want to show off. It seems you got done so fast because they're already search around for your extra decorations. Silo had grabbed most of the already interesting stuff, and Cove had a lot of the shells that were still options. The first thing you reached for was a red bottle cap, blue seashell, green piece of sea glass. It was the best fit for your castle, and you decided it was see-through and sparkly, so you put it in a funny place where it'd take a second look to see it. Pleased with your result, you finally took a proper look around that wasn't focused on the sand itself. Both Cove and Silas seemed super immersed still. You knew you could probably sneak a peek at their I'm gonna check out Cove's sandcastle. The castle Cove had built looked surprisingly tiny.
especially for someone in a cast. He must have worked really hard. He wasn't even finished digging the huge gaping moat in front, and it was already enormous. You got the same sense from the enthusiasm that he was digging with that doctor that was probably going to find a bunch of sand where he finally removed from the pink plaster. The silence was broken. What's on the top of your silo? You peek closer and discover something shiny sticking out of Silo's sand chimney. Oh, it's a gum wrapper. It looks like smoke.
Neat.
It's good. That's smart. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess I don't see it. You should be an architect. It looks kind of... These options are making me nervous. Yeah, I didn't think of that. You really know a lot about this. Silo smiled without a word. And that was that for the current topic. Jamie, can I see what you did? Sure. He scooted just a bit near and began surveying your work. The castle you'd built was pretty impressive, and all the things considered, it had archways, tall walls, and even a little moat circling it. You would probably feel safe living there. Maybe your moms were the queens. Silo quickly decided to jump on the new conversation. Hey Jamie, what did you do? This is my castle. Silo didn't look so happy anymore. You both built castles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat how you guys match. It's too bad we didn't do it. We didn't all do it. Next time we should. Wouldn't that be boring if something is the only one of that thing that makes it special? Yeah, for sandcastles and stuff, people too. My dad always says how everybody's their own man, a real individual. I don't think I'm very special.
Why?
Why not? Nobody else is you. Silo simply... Did I make the wrong choice again? Damn it! Oh. No, I just didn't want to like brag and pull and like whip something out. Like a mansion? Come on. Oh, man. No, I messed up. No. Silo simply shook his head. I'm not different. A beat passed between the two. Cove then looked down at his own work again. Okay. He didn't seem to be bothered leaving the disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. My dad tried to get me to make sandcastles the first time we came to the beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off again. There was another moment of silence. Silo shifted and opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. You didn't think he'd notice, but Silo was going to talk. Hey, do you know what happened to your mom when your moms met my dad, Jamie? You waited to see if Silo would say what he wanted to, but he didn't. You considered Cove's question. I wasn't there. They didn't tell me. I just remember what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Hall had been a weird stranger. He was still kind of strange. No other acted like him, but you knew better than whatever. Now that you thought about it, it made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. You were pulled out from your thoughts when Cove continued. Oh, well, I was there. I don't think my mom has met your dad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Jamie's parents and my dad met the same day I met them. I'm gonna say what happened. Silo frowned to himself, ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell that he was upset at not being included in Cove's choice of topic. That was kind of boring for him, though. Giving people their own turn to say the things they want to is important too. You stay silent and let Cove finish. I think Solo wants to talk. Ooh, shit. Oh man, I think Silo wants to talk too. Huh? We were talking, just not right now. I'm talking to you. He can listen. Salo's expression barely flickered at the words. He still looked pretty off. Cove continued like the interruption hadn't happened. He was determined to tell it late. When we moved... Oh, fuck. You know what? No. No. Load. I'm loading the screen. Yes. I cheated. I don't care. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Silo could talk about stuff after Cove had a chance to share what he planned on. When we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us, only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get the truck moving. I sat there, Dad, while trying to get inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew Dad would make me look around the house. I really didn't want to do that. His lips twisted into a frown as he recalled. Then I saw your moms. They were in the car too and stopped at your house. I guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed and waved his hand and then went over to the front of your house where we started talking to them. I don't know what they said. I couldn't hear it, but he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way, so I opened the car door and left. I wanted to get away. I went behind the houses. I found those hills there, the ones we met for the first time. Cove nodded, then stared at you. You stared blank. He didn't go say anything. Aren't you going to finish your story? Cove borrowed wrinkled. He didn't understand why you were surprised. That's all that happened. Okay. Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? You really got to get better at telling stories. That was a pretty bad story. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for telling me. You're welcome. Even if not much happened, you weren't going to complain about knowing the story. Silo's mouth twisted in a scowl belief but he said nothing. Why'd you bring it up anyways? There was a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders. Well, I was thinking about it because of the sandcastle. It made me remember when I moved out here. Dad showed me to the beach first before we went back to the car to unpack. He was really excited about it for some reason. Cove's brows furrowed a bit more as he quietly racked his hands through the sand. I get it. You thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach and was instead hoping Cove might be. But the line of conversation had come to an end. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped into his head. Silo fidgeted uncomfortably in the sand. He made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other and you could wonder if this might be about. Hey Silo, yeah? Why are you always turning red, even when nothing is happening? Clearly startled, he jerked back. Whether you or Silo had expected that to be how he got included in the conversation again. I don't know, I guess. Okay, it's just kind of weird. Silo's eyes widened with embarrassment. His lips twitched, and he was blushing even harder than before. Maybe it wasn't only this. Perhaps it was simply the last straw, and it was a big deal to Silo. A huge deal. He didn't just look sad. He seemed the most panicked. You weren't sure if he was about to cry or run away or what, but soon you got an answer. Why did you wear glasses? Small kids don't wear glasses, and nobody is named Cove. All right, chill out. It ain't that deep.
Who asked you to come?
Oh, shit. It was probably just your dad bugging Jamie's family some more because you don't have anyone else who will ever play with you. Whoa! 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 Silo! Oh my god! Chill out! Cove blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't know how to laugh it off. It didn't seem like the kind of thing he'd get upset about, though you hadn't ever known that kind of thing would ever bother Silo. I'm sorry. Me too. I was just wondering. Shh. I nervously played with the castle. You picked up some sand and turned it over with your hands. There didn't seem to be much that you could do to stop the fight, and you weren't sure what to do with yourself. Cove looked over at what you were doing and started building his own set of walls. Sadler took a breath before kneeling back down in his own path of sand. It seemed that they were both decided to try to play again. You were glad for that. You all went back to making more sand buildings. The whole mood had changed. Silo's cheeriness was clearly gone, and Cove looked as confused as ever about why the other boy had blown up. The air stayed uncomfortable for the rest of the afternoon, right up to the moment that Silo's mom appeared at the beach to take him home. Cove and Silo had mostly followed your lead and barely said a word. His mom standing behind him as Silo's goodbye had been quiet. Friendly, cheerful, but noticeably quiet. But with Silo gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head back to your house. Head back to your own houses. The two of you trailed out of the park together toward the neighborhood. The walk home was quiet. You pass by familiar landmarks, shoes thumping against the sidewalk, and near perfect union. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. You asked Cove what he was thinking. Something was definitely up, so you chose to reach out to him and ask, "Hey Cove, is everything okay? You're making a funny face." "Oh, I was just wondering." Cove fell silent for a while, then sighed. "Why so act like that? When I said he was all red a lot. You're being rude to him. He was just being a baby. You shouldn't make fun of him." "I know, it's just he gets embarrassed." He shrugged at Cove with no answer. He gets embarrassed. Embarrassed, but I didn't say anything that bad. It might have been upset at him anyway. I guess I can get it. Why would he say that? Sometimes I get really mad too. Despite seemingly coming to a conclusion, Koo's mood was still sour. "Hey, Jamie, was Silo telling the truth?" "Huh?" His glance left yours as he dug the sole of his shoe into the ground. He looked oddly vulnerable for a second. "Does my dad make you hang out with me? I know he talks to your moms about that a lot." An uncomfortable weight settled in your chest at the question. You liked spending time with Cove. You didn't even have to think that hard about it. You knew you did. But you couldn't help feeling guilty. Cove still didn't know what happened when you met Mr. Holden. "Nobody's making me spend time with you. Your dad does do stuff so you'll hang out with my family, but Silas shouldn't have said that." You decided to tell him about how his dad offered you money. No, definitely not doing that. "Your dad does do stuff so you'll hang out with my family, but Silas shouldn't have said that. Nobody's making me spend time with you." Cole's shoulders relaxed. You hadn't even noticed that he had tensed up. "Yeah, that's what I thought too. Anyways, I didn't think you were pretending. I just wanted to make sure it was okay is all." Thanks for telling me." Your throat tightened. It was hard to meet Cole's earnest gaze again. Keeping secrets was hard. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. I play with him because I want to." "You're welcome." By now, the two of you were on the sidewalk near your house, and it was time to part ways. You said goodbye. You hugged Cove goodbye. You nudged Cove's shoulder. You hugged Cove goodbye. "Yeah!" You stepped forward and wrapped your arms around him tightly. You turned your head, resting your cheek on his shoulder. Cove stood there awkwardly with his hands at his sides. He wasn't much of a hugger, but you did get the impression he was unhappy that you were. "Bye, Cove. See you tomorrow." See, that's something I would do anyways, which is awful, but yeah. "Yeah, bye, Jamie." You pulled away, then jogged toward your house. When you looked back, you saw Cove making his way back home too, as if he felt your eyes on me. He turned around, waved. He still felt a little unsure with what you were supposed to do about the deal Cove's dad had offered. You didn't want to say something bad or something you shouldn't. You had no idea how Cove would take it either. It would be terrible if it made him feel bad. What if he didn't want to play with you anymore? You might change your mind sometime. There was always tomorrow after all, but for now it was definitely something you'd have to keep for yourself. With a final look, you went inside of your house. Okay. We're saving that there. I think the next one... I for sure don't want to do long day. I think I'm going to do shopping and grown up and then move on. Possibly. So let's do grown up. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Cove, listening to the sounds of the birds chattering outside the window while you lay across the rug on the floor. Cove's dad had dropped him off earlier, and your moms had left two of you along with Lizzie to play amongst yourselves. It had been too long to go outside in the afternoon. It's been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mom. So your sister was starting to get impatient, waiting for her golf class that evening. Oops, what did I say? The three of you had trouble finding something fun to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt that it was too warm to play for anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes, and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors anyways. They're always inside and tell everybody they're too busy to play.
Why?
Why? I said why, and it'll be fun. Duh. Alright, bitch. What do they do inside that we don't, besides use the phone a lot? Excluding a small huff, Lizzie decides to ignore Cove.
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you want to do? I don't know. I don't know. Please, Jamie. When have I ever had a bad idea? Whenever we play with you, I wasn't asking you. I don't know. Sorry, I have other stuff to do. You keep hesitating. I'll try, but it sounds boring. It's not gonna be, I guarantee it. Lizzie seemed more determined than ever that you could only sigh. Satisfied that that neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie brought over her options that you watched. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you. Okay, I'm gonna be a professional golfer. Jamie, you and Cove can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnastic, or a tennis player. Why can't we pick anything we want? Because I have a fun idea, that's why. And we have to play sports as an adult? Yep. But there are other kinds of sports too.
Right?
It isn't the same. What do you think, Jamie? Don't those choices sound super cool? Want to be that, huh? Kind of like those. It really doesn't. It sounds like a pass. Isn't there anything else you believe we can be? Lizzie stomped a foot on the ground. Nope, come on, just decide already. Knowing Lizzie wouldn't let this go anytime soon, you sighed. Cove was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. You thought over the list. Wait, what? Cove was not impressed by Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. You thought over the list of possibilities. Each beach, volleyball, gymnastics, tennis. Out of all of them, you'd prefer to play tennis. You remembered Mom had a couple of old tennis rackets laying around somewhere. You forgot you had seen them last. You could check in the attic for... Well, okay. Yeah, there was clearly the top option. Okay, I'm going to be a tennis player. Alright. How about you, Cove? I picked volleyball. I should have known. Okay, so Jamie, you're a famous tennis player, and Cove, you're a popular beach volleyball team, and Lizzie's ponytail bobbed while she proudly stretched her arms wide. We're Olympic athletes who just competed in the Olympics. Cove didn't seem at all impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted his glasses with his nose. That's really specific.
Rude.
Well, that what makes it fun. Anyways, Lizzie marched back and forth in front of the both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I won all gold medals, and people are calling me the next Mickey Wright. Who's that? Lizzie stopped at the spot and turned on him, her brown eyes spinning with impatience. It doesn't matter if you know who she is. It's a golf thing. You guys won medals too. Cove, your team was bronze, and Jamie, you barely missed out on the gold and got silver. It's more real if we're not all in first place. Silver sucks. I don't want silver. I'm okay with that. Hey, we can do better than silver. Silver's not bad. Nice. I'm okay with that. You shrugged your shoulders, agreeing with Lizzie. A silver medal was still really good in the Olympics. I'm not. Cole folded his arms across his chest, apparently not as happy as you were with the decision.
Sorry.
Lots of people lose at the Olympics. Them the breaks. Then you're the one who did, not me. Lizzie looked back at Cole's declaration as though he thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way, it wouldn't make sense. I'm already practicing my golf game. She took a golfing stance to make her point, pretending to swing her club and hit an invisible ball. So what kind of house do you live in? Cove hadn't changed his mind about winning, but thinking about where he'd live as an adult appealed to him, apparently because he looked back at Lizzie with some of the anger fading. I'm going to live on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, poking out her tongue. That's kind of boring. We already have that. No, not like the normal houses where with a street on it, right on the sand by the water. It's just like that. All the tension was back. You hadn't even had a chance to choose whether you want to live. That's not very fun or smart. You can't live on a beach of sand and shells. Dude, why is she so rude? But I want to, and I will. Cove narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood half and held taller than me. You didn't give out on a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking on that. Why are we playing pretend if we can't imagine it? Jeez, well, I'm gonna live in a mansion far away from here and far away from you. One with an indoor pool and a place to practice my award-winning golfing.
It's not fair.
How come you were yelling about Maya when your idea is even more impossible? Lizzie's face flushed red, her hands balling into a fist on her sides. It's not impossible, it's better than yours. Disagreement was always to crop up when the two of them were together, and you always felt like you were stuck in the middle. But when it came to the topic at hand, this time you thought you'd prefer mashing. Being on the beach was cooler. You want to agree with Lizzie. Cole was right. Being on the beach was cooler. Who wouldn't want to live on the beach? It'd be great. You could have windows made from driftwood and shells and wind chimes. Ugh. He smiled slightly over the agreement. He turned to Lizzie with bolstered confidence. You can start wherever you want on the beach. We can still swim anytime we want where we live now. But a little closer doesn't mean anything. Says you. The two of them scolded at each other. You're being so unreasonable. You. I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense. It does. You have to be realistic. I said that, but you're not. You had an idea just to make them stop at this point. It seemed like the two of them would be breaking each other up as long as they could. Nothing you said so far had helped them. They feeling like a greeting card angel my mom looked at. Lizzie rushed over, hugging onto the hem of her shirt, and poking out with her tongue at Cole. Lizzie, Jamie, it's time to get ready to go. Sorry, you have to leave already, Cole. Their mom said she'll walk you home so you won't be left in the cold. Cove was still glaring at Lizzie, his face flushed red with anger. I can go by myself. But bye, Jamie. There was still a harsh edge of the brief farewell, but you knew it wasn't you he was mad at. Without giving Mom a chance to stop him, Cove stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulders brown right. Okay? Worried, Mom turned and looked down at you and Lizzie. You two were playing nice with our new friend, weren't you? You told the truth. You're playing pretend and things got intense. They were like cats and dogs. Your sister's jaw dropped, looking betrayed as Mom put both hands on her hips. Elizabeth, I told you to be kind to him. He's having a hard time right now. Lizzie's mouth closed back up, replaced by a tiny frown. I know, I tried, but he was...
That's enough.
No buts. We both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We're going to apologize to Cove and his dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging her foot across the ground in front of her. Okay, Mom. Good girl. I mean, someone's got to, like, kick her off our high stool, pedestal, whatever. You caught pieces of Lizzie sulking to herself about how it was his fault, too, but it was over. All right, we better get moving on. Let's go, kids. No, Lonnie, where did you leave the car keys? Mom hustled all over the door and noticed during the car ride to go process was quieter than usual. Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was usually the first one to request to which music to put in the car, but she didn't say anything. Your parents noticed she wasn't in a mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and Mom just asked you what you'd like to listen to. You're happy to see brighten her up right away, and she started singing along. Soon enough, her bad mood was a thing of the past. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hour watching Lizzie hit things with girls her age. You didn't know much about golf, but you could tell she really liked it. so you sat with your moms and tried to puzzle it out. It was nice sitting outside after being cooped up in the house all day, and you stretch your legs. Why is it skins? What the? You stretch out your legs to let the last few minutes of sun warm your skin. Oh, that's why. When the sun was finally out of sight, dipping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your moms took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant, and you all had been going over since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting and hadn't been able to stop. But you can kind of tell what all this happened. You can kind of tell that all this helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride home was quiet, with only the radio providing escape from the silence. Lizzie had been in a better spirits now, but the closer you got to your neighborhood, the more she wiggled in her seats and frowned out the window. She knew what was coming when you all got back home. Clearly, she was dreading it. Soon enough, Mom turned into the street, reversing into the driveway. Once again, she cut the engine, and it's dead silent. No one spoke, only unbuckled their seatbelts and opened the doors. Lizzie was the last one out. Everyone was inside and done talking. With the shoes she propped up in her hands and her hips. So then, Mr. Holder's car is in the driveway. He should be back from work. This is a good news, isn't it, Elizabeth? You and Cove can hash things out before the day's done. Lizzie didn't complain or put up with a fight. Her head ducked so she didn't have to meet anyone's eyes. She noticed. Good, let's move on. Mom went over to the house. Phone. The rest of you following behind her, Mommy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked beside her. You watched them from the back. It was only happening because you told on Lizzie. You don't regret it. You felt a little guilty, like you betrayed your sister. You hadn't liked doing it, but had to. Being a tattletale didn't feel good, but you didn't want someone else to tell your mom everything you did. Still, your mom had asked directly, and you wanted to be a little liar, even less. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a lopsided square. All eyes were on Lizzie, who gazed upon her, looking at her feet. You remember the number of Coe's house, don't you? Lizzie jerked her head and another nod, sullen. Without further prompting, she stepped forward and she began to dial. Mom reached over and pressed the button on the side. Suddenly, you could hear the phone ringing. She turned into the speaker. The phone rang a couple times, then stopped. Mr. Holden's warm voice came through the other end. Evening, Holden residence. Lizzie looked over at Mom, unsure. She nodded encouragingly. Hi, Mr. Holden. It's, Lizzie. Can I talk to Cove?
Absolutely.
Lizzie? What a surprise, but of course you can. Say hi to the boy. He sounded cheery as usual, though definitely didn't mean it when he said it was a surprise. You thought hard, and you were sure that your sister had never called Cove's house before. Mom spoke up before Mr. Holden or Lizzie could say anything more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lips pursed. Hi, Cliff, Neilani. Jamie and I are here too. Good evening. We're sorry to bother you so late. Hi, Mr. Holden. The gig's all there, huh? Is there something the matter? His voice grew a bit concerned. Mommy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but it's going to be okay. Lizzie and Cove got into a bit of a fight today. We're hoping to get the two to talk to them, and it's a good time for you and Cove. A fight? Cove didn't tell me anything about that when I came home. It does explain the funk he's been in tonight. He chuckled lightly. Despite that, it didn't seem like he really thought it was funny. Anyways, it's good. You didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. Cove, there's someone on the phone for you. After a beat of silence, there was more muffled talking from... Okay. Come on, bud. Lizzie's called just so she could talk to you.
Are you sure?
Jamie's on the other end listening too. Do you want to say hi? It took a bit of back and forth, though. Through the conversation seemed one-sided, so you could hear Cove properly. Eventually, Cove took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hello? Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know. Dad told me. Cove's tone was defensive.
Sorry.
I just called to say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today. I won't do it again. Lizzie's eyes were downcast, her voice low. She was still being genuine about feeling bad. I want gold, and I think Jimmy should win too. Really? I thought you were worth gold. He thought you were worth gold even though you hadn't even wanted it? Lizzie was momentarily stunned. Suddenly, by the demand, she probably forgot that had even happened already. Alright, we all win the gold. Okay, I guess I'm sorry too. A sense of relief washed over everyone at the acceptance of the apology. Mom encrossed her Can I read? Encrossed her arms while Mom's shoulders relaxed. Lizzie's elbows raised up. You wondered if she thought that he'd refuse her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? You couldn't see him, but it was obvious that Cole felt awkwardly about the situation. He had to come off uncomfortable the entire time. Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want. Be sure to say goodbye, though. Bye, Lizzie. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie. You perked up at the mention of your name. You smiled even if he couldn't see it. Bye, Cove. Aww. With that, Cove must have handed the phone to his dad and left, since Mr. Holden spoke up.
That's a relief.
All's well that ends well, as they say. Thanks for intriguing this. I'm sure he appreciates it. As Mom replies, Lizzie tugged on Mom's shoulder and catched her off guard. Can I go now, too?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologizing to Cove. Mom flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her in her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie scurried off towards the stairs. She seemed to be feeling much better with the incident behind her. Mom and Mother returned to the phone, taking it off the speaker. They continued to tell Mr. Holden. You couldn't tell what about. You were glad that it was the end of it all. Lizzie and Cove might not get along, and probably still won't, but they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mom and Mother weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. With that, though, you retreated to your own room with a spring in your step. Okay. I am going to save here. Oops. Number 2. And, okay. And I'm actually going to end it here for today. I've been streaming for like 2 hours, almost 2 hours and a half. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining and coming into the community garden. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me and you'd like to catch up with what I do, please follow my socials down below. The link should be down there in the about page. Let's see what else. Next stream might be on Thursday, maybe Friday. For sure not tomorrow because I'm going to be taking a break for that day to do other stuff, probably my models. So, yeah. We're probably going to be continuing this game because actually it's turning out to be fun. It's probably going to be like a 5-part-ish type of, I guess, gameplay through whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you join my next stream. I usually do tweet about when I will be streaming next. So I will let you guys know. Make sure to follow my Twitter for more updates and more information. I'm actually also going to be creating a weekly schedule and be posting it on there as well. So yeah, I'll let you guys know about that. But anyways, I'm going to be leaving now. I'm going to close up the shop. Thank you so much for coming and joining. And I hope you come and meet me again. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you take care of yourself. Okay, bye.